Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mental Breakdown Podcast. I am your host, Jake Bassey. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's a brand new channel, so I need you to help engage the algorithm and do all of those things. You can also follow and rate the show on Spotify. Again, really helps the algorithm, really helps get the word out there, and I appreciate your support very much. If you'd like to appreciate me a little bit more, you can go to patreon.com/JakeLBassey. All of that is in the description of the episode below. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, click that link. You can get access to my stand-up sets, early access to raw and uncut episodes of the podcast, and a whole lot more. And you can support the channel for just a few bucks a month to help keep the content going and help with costs of stuff. All this equipment, all of this gear costs a lot of money, and I made a lot of investments in that. So it would help me greatly to, have you donate a couple bucks here and there. That would help so much so I don't have to get a second job or get a roommate. I like my peace. But anyway, I digress. Let's get into the episode with my friend Joseph Paul here. He is a very picky eater. In the interview, we talk about various digestive, not digestive. It is a mentally digestive challenge because this guy has eaten nothing but chicken nuggets his whole life. And it's a very interesting interview because everything from being, just a really picky eater and refusing to eat as a child to, going to college and eating nothing but French fries because the college didn't have any chicken nuggets. So poor Joseph here just starved himself in the college years, and not in the normal way that you would starve in college. It's not like, top ramen noodles and eggs every day. It's, French fries. You should follow his show too, called Tastes Like Chicken. That is also in the description below. You should really check it out. He's trying, just classic American foods for the first time as an adult. And it's just such a fascinating, this is a really fascinating person to talk to. And, he's married. He's married. This is a guy that has, what you could say a red flag, that isn't very adventurous with food. And, food and dates is very important socially. And this guy made it. He made it. So, maybe a guy like me would have a chance, But enough about that. Let's get into this exciting episode with Joseph Paul on the Mental Breakdown. Enjoy. Yeah. Welcome to the Mental Breakdown.
Thanks, buddy. Happy to be here.
You're here.
Is this a coaster?
Yeah, it can be a coaster. My QAnon niece made that for me.
Oh, okay.
My little QAnon.
All right.
It's weird about her. This is like so off tangent, but like she's progressive and yet thinks that like the Jews control the weather. So she's an odd one.
Well, that's just science.
She's an odd one. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I think gay people should have the same rights, but the Jews control the weather. Like, what? Hold on.
Yeah. Well.
So crazy. Yeah, what a wonderful way to start off the podcast with a conspiracy theory. Before we get started, Mr. Joe, what you got going on? What shows are you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Tastes Like Chicken?
Yeah, I am the host of a show that I produce on YouTube called The Tastes Like Chicken Show. It is where I am probably the world's pickiest eater, if not at least one of the world's pickiest eaters.
Yeah.
So it is a show where I, at the age of 32 years old, am trying things like broccoli and peanut butter and jelly for the first time in my life.
For the first time.
Yeah.
I am enjoying it, and I support this 1,000%.
Thanks, buddy.
You having, these sort of, I would say, classic American kids, snack or meal like the PB&J.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, and it blew my mind when you told me that at Barney's. I was like, wait,
Yeah.
You've never had a peanut butter? And I'm just, I'm like having a fucking frying pan moment in my head. I'm like, what? How?
Yeah.
So there are questions I have about, not about having mental breakdowns,
Yeah.
but mentally like breaking down like, your brain, how you think and all that.
Right.
And I do have a few questions, but this quirk that you have is so fascinating to me.
Well, it's funny. I'm getting people in the comments being like, "You're pathetic. You're a child." And I'm like, "Correct." I have no shame about it. It's absolutely true. I eat like a 5-year-old.
Yeah, and you know what? Those people aren't married.
Yeah,
which is surprising because you're married. You found someone.
I'm not even just married. I'm married to someone that's like way better quality than I deserve, given that I can only order off the kids menu. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
yeah,
so
yeah.
she's amazing. Yeah.
But you've had like exotic foods before, just like on those very rare occasions, because you did tell me you went to Japan.
Well, that's kind of where the show started. Was before going. So after I got married, our honeymoon was in Japan, and with it being our honeymoon, I promised my wife that we would only do one trip to McDonald's to get chicken McNuggets.
They have McDonald's there?
Yeah, but I was only allowed to go there once. So after that, whatever food they put in front of me, the rule was I had to eat it.
Okay.
So from there, it just kind of it became this thing of I need to make this into a regular habit, because being forced to eat healthy in Japan, I felt better than I've ever felt in my life.
Well, the food there is different. They don't have like weird pesticides and like food additives like in
but on
America.
top of that, I was getting things into my diet like iron for the first time in my life. So yeah, it was like, speaking of mental health, like I felt better than I've ever felt when I was in Japan, because like, I mean, granted on vacation, but on top of that, I didn't have any of my anxiety. I wasn't having anxiety attacks. Things that would normally irritate me or cause me to go off the wall, I was like, oh, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like I felt so mellow, and I had so much energy because I was being forced to eat healthy for once in my life.
Oh my God.
That after that, it was very much like, okay, we need to make this a habit. So.
And how do you feel like with some of the foods that you've tried and liked for the first time, and that these are entering? Like, how's your stomach? Like, are you like how's that going for you?
I'm not regular. We'll put it that way.
You're not regular?
Yeah,
I know the feeling. I've got IBS.
Yeah,
well,
so that's the thing is, we recently did the vegetable episode where I had literally vegetables for the first time in my life.
That's fiber and all that stuff. Yeah.
That was a night.
Oh boy.
We filmed the episode, and the episode went really well. But then, like, I'd say like an hour afterwards, my stomach was just like, what the hell?
One thing I'm really curious about is like, well, you had the peanut butter and jelly for the first time, and this is like, this is the first time being introduced to nut products? Like,
I mean, would you count a Reese's cup?
I would count. It's got peanut butter in it.
Yeah, I would count that. Yeah.
So, I guess my question was like, did you have like production talks? Was like, oh, do we have to have someone on site in case we find out?
We bought an
that
EpiPen.
You got an EpiPen just in case?
Yeah, we're planning to eventually. We want to do an episode. We're hoping that my doctor will let me film where we'll do like an allergy test for me and all sorts of other stuff like blood
shellfish,
tests.
things like that.
Just kind of figure it out, because there is a very good chance that I'm deathly allergic to something and I have no idea.
You have
I'm going
no
to find
idea.
out the hard way.
Yeah,
so.
you will find out the hard way. That will be, your suffering is content.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And some of the punishments that I've thought of is like, oh, if he rejects this fruit, let's cut open a durian. And that's like, that's like, oh man, like that's a rotting dead body.
Yeah,
when you cut open a durian.
That's gonna be the interesting part with the show, is that we decided that if there's a food that I'm trying, I have to eat half of it, and if I don't do it, I have to do a punishment. The punishments coming in, some of them are severe, where I'm like, we're not doing that. One person suggested that I have to get a tattoo of the audience choice.
Oh,
I was like,
no.
That's a bit severe.
Yeah, that's a little bit much. I mean, it depends. It depends on the food. Like, the most recent episode that I saw was the breakfast food episode. That was and that was just kind of like a basic building block of like, because breakfast, they say like, oh, it's the most important meal of the day, which I think is actually a scam, because breakfast, it's breaking your fast. Okay. And it's really like, oh, you have to get up early in the morning when you're really not supposed to eat until like 12 or 1 o'clock.
My issue is just all breakfast food seems so dry to me. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
That first thing in the morning when my mouth is dry, I don't know why I would want to eat dry foods.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
For me, like, because I have gut issues personally, like I can't start my day like fucking eating and having to digest food. Like, it's more of a midday thing for me. Like, I love breakfast food. Like, breakfast food is literally like any time of day. I'll go to Denny's at 2 a.m.
But will you still get 3 meals a day? Like, do you skip breakfast but then eat 3 times later in the day?
No, well, because of my condition, I have to. I can have one large meal in the middle of the day, or I can have little tiny snacks throughout the day.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Fun.
So in terms of like my mental health with that, because when my gut is bothering me, your brain is sending pain signals to your gut, and that in turn stresses me the fuck out.
Gotcha.
So if I'm having like, let's say, gluten the night before, like if I eat late, which I do a lot, like if I have a bagel and cream cheese at 10 o'clock at night, we're gonna have some trouble.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Gotcha.
I purposely I ate really early this morning, so I knew I was gonna have you at 1. So I was like, okay, this is how my body clock works. I know I'm gonna have to take a shit at this time, because it's literally like every 4 hours if I'm lucky.
Right.
And it messes with me so much. Yeah. So trying these new foods, has it put you in like kind of a nervous spiral with some of the stuff that you're kind of like preparing for in the future in terms of like what you've shot now?
You don't see it on the show because obviously we edit it and everything, but there's definitely been episodes where it took like 4 hours to film. Like I'm not proud of it. I had a full-on panic attack trying peanut butter and jelly.
Oh, wow.
Like where like there was a good hour I was just sitting there. I was like, hold on. Like
it's like, wait, stop rolling, stop the camera.
I'm not proud. It's pathetic that that's my response, but
man.
I have no frame of reference, so I gotta start somewhere.
And you didn't like the marshmallow fluff. That kind of threw me for a loop too. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but people so far have been most upset about the breakfast one. People have very strong opinions about breakfast. I thought everyone was going to hate on me for how I eat. My sister was worried people were going to hate on her for her weight. We're not getting any of that. Every comment is like, you got the wrong maple syrup, you stupid motherfucker.
You got the wrong maple syrup. Dude, breakfast, look, it's sacred, man. It's sacred. If a place like fast food places have been doing breakfast all day and people are just going crazy for those places, man. And breakfast, it's just one of those things that feels like a warm hug to me, you know. In terms of when you were growing up, I'm sure, you know, your parents were like making you food, and they just kind of sat there and went, oh, shit, he's not eating it. Is it something wrong with me? Did I do something wrong?
Oh yeah.
You know, like,
no, my parents tried everything.
Oh yeah.
My mom once carved a carrot into the shape of a Cheez-It to try to get me to try carrots. They stuffed broccoli into the bottom of a chocolate chip cookie. They threatened to throw out all my toys. There was one time, I was like 9 or 10. My mom gave me a peanut butter sandwich. All I had to do was take a bite. I didn't have to swallow it. I just had to take a bite. I sat there for hours refusing to eat it. Yeah, I was a stubborn kid. I don't know. Yeah.
So what do you think that comes from? Because I've got a little touch of the autism, and it's a spectrum. So people on the autism spectrum have their special interests, and they only eat like 3 things. Like what's her name? Temple Grandin. She heavy autistic. She invented like a thing that helps the quality of fucking cattle. There's a movie about it. I couldn't remember the title of it, but there's a scene in the movie where she only eats Jell-O, yogurt, and like bottled water. Like never tap water. It has to be bottled. Because she's like, I have colitis. I have to only eat this. I'm like, shit, I have colitis too, but I don't limit myself to different foods. I fucking love food. I'm a sweet tooth.
That's the thing is I've had people say to me that they think I got a touch of the tism, as people say it. But I don't know if it's that. Do you want me to wait for that?
Dude, it's a condenser mic.
Okay,
it's not going to pick up at all. Yeah, it's not going to pick up at all. We live by the airport. God damn it.
LA, baby. But my sister actually told me recently, because I've been eating like this for as long as I can remember. Like I don't remember a time before chicken nuggets. But she explained to me, because when I was younger, I had a really bad immune system. Like I've had pneumonia 27 times in my life.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like when I was younger, I'd have to be put on this machine that would pump steroids into my lungs whenever I got it, like all this crazy stuff. And when I was like 3 years old, apparently, I had one case of it where the only food I could keep down was the chicken nuggets. Everything else, I'd get sick.
And there begins the origin story.
Exactly. Yeah. Like from there, as a 3-year-old, I was afraid to eat. So my parents were like, you know what? He's eating. Let's just leave it be. And then it just kept going and kept going. And then before you knew it, here I am.
Part of it is like part of it is truly like a fear-based thing where you're just like, oh my God, if I eat this, like I'm going to have a really bad time.
I suppose. Yeah. But that's the thing though, is it's entirely mental. That's all it is.
Yeah. Well, it started at such a young age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like with, it's so funny. Going to Japan, I had sushi before I had peanut butter and jelly.
Wow.
And peanut butter and jelly was such a struggle for me.
Yeah.
But then sushi, no problem at all. And I think because mentally, I'm like, sushi's weird for everybody.
Yeah. Raw fish.
So mentally, there was no struggle of like, I was like, it's supposed to feel a little weird. Yeah. So it was completely fine.
Octopus, salmon roe.
I ate tuna sushi, tuna sashimi. swordfish, and takoyaki, which is octopus balls.
Swordfish. Yeah. Oh man, how's swordfish? Can you take me back to that?
It didn't really taste like anything.
Didn't really taste like anything.
Yeah.
Did you have it with like the sauces or anything, like the soy sauce or?
I had it with soy sauce.
Soy sauce. Yeah, dude. The sauce. Because is it out now, the nugget episode where you're trying the different sauces?
Yeah. Oh no, that comes out today. Actually.
That comes out today. Oh, right on. As of this recording, this is going to be out like much later.
It's coming out.
This will be out, so it'll be out by the time this is out.
Yeah,
then.
it'll be out.
Yeah. Oh my, because I'm so enthralled by your process of that. I'm like, oh wow, I can literally think of anything else, and it's like he hasn't had it. Yeah. And you've got over 100, 200 plus food ideas.
We started a spreadsheet of foods I haven't had that we can try for the show, and we're at 236 episodes so far and counting, because there's just so much I haven't eaten.
I texted you before you came here. I'm like, are we going to have a fine dining experience for like, are we going to try Michelin star shit?
Yeah.
Where we're kind of like going to cut into the budget a little bit. I'm like, if you're going to have shit that you do like, have the best of what you can find.
But we're kind of going the opposite direction, where we're starting basic and cheap.
Yeah,
because it's kind of like it can just get better from here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also too, because that stuff is so simple that like I'm not getting too overwhelmed by it. You know what I mean? But then we're gonna move more into more gourmet options. A buddy of mine actually, who is a chef for a Michelin star restaurant. We have plans to have him on, and he's going to like cook a gourmet meal for me.
Oh, God,
and I don't think it's going to go well. Yeah. Especially because his dishes are mainly Armenian. And Armenian dishes have a lot of ingredients I've never had. It's not basic food.
Lots of
it's
different
very,
spices,
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot to process there.
Oh, man, you've never had lahmacun. Oh, it's so good, dude. It's lahmacun is Armenian pizza, basically. It's not like pizza in the traditional like American sense. It's basically flatbread with minced meat just kind of like caked on top of it,
right,
with a bunch of different seasonings and a bunch of different spices.
Yeah.
You fold it like a pizza. You can like dip it in, whatever sauce you choose. It's really good. It's really good.
Last Christmas, he made me this dish. It was skewered like just these round meats that were skewered, and they were on fire, which was really cool. I've never had a dish on fire before, but to this day, he won't tell me what it was.
It was probably either like lamb or...
I assume it was, but like he likes to screw with me, so he's very much, he's like, no. If you enjoyed it, that's good enough for me. I'm not telling you what you ate.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Good God.
Turns out they're talking about me.
Yeah, what a fucking soundbite. It's like, the immigrants in Haiti are they're only eating chicken nuggets, and it's not chicken. It's made out of gerbil.
How many food review shows do you think right now are producing an episode that's like, we're eating the dogs, and it's like hot dogs?
It's
what I mean?
Huge soundbite.
Everyone's going for
Everyone's
that right now.
Engagement farming. Like people are kind of like jokingly putting their French bulldog on top of their oven and shit like that.
I've seen a few places in Hollywood that like have signs saying like, come eat our dogs.
Come eat our dogs, or like a hot dog stand. Good
exactly.
God, that's so much fun. I do want to break into a couple of the actual prepared questions. Is in terms of mental breakdowns and pet peeves and stuff. Let's talk about some of the pet peeves that you've got.
Pet peeves that
any pet peeves in general. Anything that just kind of makes you ooh.
A lot of my pet peeves are very specific. I get hung up on stupid shit. Like I get really annoyed. Like I get really annoyed that in Star Wars Episode 3, Obi-Wan says, only a Sith deals in absolutes. And I'm like, that's an absolute.
That is an absolute.
And then later Yoda's like, dude, there is no try. I'm like, that's an absolute, you assholes.
God,
that
so
drives
funny.
me insane.
I never thought about that. Wow.
Yeah, just stupid little things like that.
I never thought about that at all. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not crazy about Star Wars. Like, I've seen most of the movies.
Right.
We can go on a fucking 2-hour conversation on Star Wars, but I never thought of that.
Yeah, that bugs me. So yeah, just little stuff like that gets on my nerves.
The little plot hole stuff. Do you watch the movie and like pick it apart like as you're watching it?
I try not to these days because my wife is a very in the moment person with a movie. Like if my wife watches a movie, it doesn't matter if she's seen it 10 times, it's like the first time. She's very in the moment.
Yeah.
And I learned early on that if I pick apart a movie, she's just going to kick me out of the room. She's like, you're ruining this for me.
Yeah, it's not a pet peeve of mine, but but it's a pet peeve to other people when I watch movies with others. I'll just fucking talk through the whole goddamn thing. I'll riff on it. I'll shit on it. I'm doing an anime reaction series right now with a good buddy of mine, and it's the anime Dr. Stone. I've never seen it before.
I don't know that one.
I have no frame of reference on it at all. I've never seen it, but she's watched the show like a million times, and I am literally just fucking like talking shit throughout the whole thing. She keeps pausing it and go like, "Oh, what are your raw thoughts on this?" I'm like, the outro of the show just gave away like the whole plot, and I already know what the fuck is happening. And she's like, "Are you psychic?" And I'm like, "No, I'm seeing a pattern in the thing."
I went to school and took literature very seriously.
Yeah, I went to film school. I know exactly I know exactly how this character is drawn, and so I can kind of see like how their personality is based on that. She goes like, "Oh, you're very observant." I'm like, "No, I'm fucking autistic. I got the clairvoyance, shit."
Well, that's the other thing is like another pet peeve of mine would probably be I don't understand people who can't find the words for things. Like, I realize that I don't shut the fuck up and I should probably talk less. But, like, I know so many people that when I'm having a conversation, they'll be like, "What is it? What's the word?" And they have to pause constantly, and that drives me insane.
And they're looking for the smart, like, Oxford Dictionary definition because they want to come off intelligent.
And that's the thing. Like, I may fumble my mumblies, but I'll get to the point. You know what I mean? I'd rather, like, say the word that's closest to what I can think of than spend forever trying to find the word. That's definitely a pet peeve of mine, is just sitting there waiting for someone to find the words.
Yeah.
And that's a flaw in me, not another people.
Yeah, I get like that when I'm talking to another comic and they're using their bit in a conversation. I'm like, "Oh god damn it, like I've heard this." I know if it's like for the sake of podcasting, like, "Oh, we want to like I've had comics on and they're doing their bit on the thing," and I'm just
right.
And then like it's there's a purpose for it.
You get so much of that in Los Angeles. I think that's probably the one thing that makes Los Angeles so draining is that everybody is just constantly networking. Constantly. And so like you'll think you're like making friends with someone, you're having a good conversation, then they're like, "You should watch this that I'm in." You're like, I don't want to.
I watch my web
you
series.
You seem like a great guy, but or you get like, "Oh, we should collaborate on something. You've never seen me work. Why would we?"
Oh my god!
Like if you asked me to audition or like you wanted to like riff a bit, sure, but like to be like, "Oh, I'm doing this movie. You should be in it." You've never seen me do anything.
Yeah.
Like there's just this over eagerness to always be working, and I'm bad at that. I'm not good at that stuff.
It's that curiosity of like, "Oh, what 1 degree of separation is this person like adjacent to like a celebrity or something like that?" I find that now that the Comedy Store does in-person sign up for potluck, there are now hundreds of like that desperate energy people that are just there for the hang and for the networking, and it's like, why the fuck else do anything, Like the whole reason why anybody does anything in LA is for the networking, and just that sort of like secret ulterior motive that can smell it on people too. It's like, why can't we just hang, dude? Yeah. Like let it be organic, I'm friends with a few people that are working actors in the industry. I'm not gonna bug them for a job. It's not like that. Right. It's just not fucking like that. Neither is it their department.
Well, but that's the thing though, is it's such a hard line to walk because you do have to network and you do kind of have to have your hand out here and there.
Yeah.
But just try to do it tastefully is my issue. Like I feel like I encounter so many people, and don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Those people will probably get more work than I ever will. I don't have it in me to just shamelessly like try to like, I can't do it. I can't do it.
If the first question is like, "Oh, how long have you been doing comedy?" or "How long have you been an actor?" I'm like, he's already trying to break me down. He's already trying to fucking figure out like what I've done, the Googling and all that. Like I've noticed, like I just did the store in the main room this past week. And like it's cool. It's nice to get praise from friends, but it's the ones that you don't hear from a whole lot that are just like, "I see you."
See, but that's the interesting thing though too, is that I kind of don't mind people that I don't hear from a lot, just because I'm like, "Oh, you're living your life, you're doing your thing."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I find that the people that I hear from constantly are the ones that are reaching out the most, being like, "We should collaborate." Because they got nothing going on. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely, there are people that I'm like, "Oh, I'd love to hear from that person more." But like, if someone's not reaching out to me because they're busy doing their thing, good for them. You know what I mean?
It's never personal either, because it's sometimes it's just a vibe check. Like when I said I was launching the podcast, there's a bunch of people who like we're acquaintances, but we're not like super fucking tight. Like I'm selective on like who to trust, who to remain friends with. because I can smell like, oh, this guy has a thing. He can get me on this. I'm like, oh, is that why? Like, if I didn't have this, then we wouldn't be talking at all.
Right.
Like when I took a producing break, I got way less DMs from people asking to like do a spot on my show. I'm like, I see.
Right.
I see.
Yeah.
You know, and I can smell it, dude. And it's not. I don't not like people. I just smell that on people, and I know it's not coming from a place of it's not an authentic thing for me. It's like, why are people friends with the door guys at the store? Because of their position or because of who they are as people?
I mean, I've never made friends with the door guy at a store, but
the comedy store. I mean, I'm talking to you like you're a comic guy.
Okay.
I say the store like oh the comedy.
I'm just thinking you're talking about like someone going up to like the door guy at Walmart, like, hey buddy, how you doing today? You got me? I was so confused.
I love that. That's so funny.
Gosh.
I keep forgetting like when I say it, because I've told friends like, oh, I've got a spot at the store. I'm like, you're performing at Ralph's? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's the best.
It's been interesting. Like, I love getting to know comedians just from working tech at the club and everything. But it's comedy is such a different beast from the rest of LA.
Yeah.
And in a lot of good ways. I find that comedians are more likely to ask about me than to tell me about them. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Whereas like actors, when you meet them, the first thing they want to tell you is their credits.
Yeah,
you know what
their
I mean?
credits. Oh, you should know me. You don't know who I am. I'm you know.
Yeah. No, I've got this thing I'm working on. It's really promising. Cool. Let me know when it comes out.
I'll be right there with you, man.
Comedians will always ask me how I'm doing. They'll stop and make conversation. Like literally, no matter how big the comedian is or how small, they will stop and have a conversation.
Yeah,
which is really nice.
It is nice.
But it also makes me a little paranoid where I'm like, am I just going to be your material? Like, oh, I met this guy. He only eats chicken nuggets.
Well, that's the thing, dude. Is that comics are even the best of them. Like they're asking how you're doing. That they're trying. They're always sifting because life gives you material.
Yeah.
A lot of comics will draw from personal experience. Like, I want to meet, people that have interesting quirks so I can then make fun of it later. They make a mental note.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh, I met a guy who only eats, chicken McNuggets. Like, what is he, retarded? Like, that's dumb shit like that.
I'm fine with it. People can make fun of me.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, you're so brave to do this type of show. And I feel
brave
like
the word.
I think brave is the word.
Right.
Because you're kind of risking your health in a way.
I guess.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Because you might have a dangerously allergic reaction to like oysters or something.
You know what's funny? It's going to be something mundane.
It'll be something stupid.
I'll eat oysters, be fine. I'll eat, the most ridiculous foods and be fine. And then you'll be, hear about Joe? He died from a cheeseburger.
Yeah, oh, fuck.
That's what's going to happen.
He died from a potato chip that had fucking like a certain type of like salt in it or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, God. What's another, like junk foods, like pretzels, Doritos,
I've eaten pretzels. I've never had a Dorito. I'm afraid of Doritos.
You're afraid of Doritos?
They got a really strong smell, man.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Yeah, like, okay.
I'm just afraid if I don't like it, it's going to be one of those tastes that sits in my mouth for 2 hours and I just got to suffer through it.
Doritos are definitely not my first choice because it's a sharp chip. And when I bite into a chip that has like a sharpness to it, it like cuts the roof of my mouth sometimes. And
you mean like physically sharp?
Like physically sharp.
I thought you meant sharp like a cheese.
No.
Okay.
Like it's a sharp looking chip. Like I'll go for a Cheeto first. It's round. It's not fucking sharp.
A Cheeto.
You've never had a Cheeto?
No.
Oh man, you don't get the orange dust. You don't.
No.
Fucking, why am I not surprised? Why am I fucking shocked when I could literally go, have you ever had this? Have you ever heard that? Nope, he hasn't.
We could go all day doing that. It's a long game of things I haven't had.
Yeah. I mean, just fucking pizza, dude.
Pizza. I started eating cheese pizza probably like a couple years ago, maybe. But that was just necessity. When the pandemic hit, every place was out of my chicken tenders.
Oh shit.
So my wife bought like little Red Baron pizzas, and she's like, just trust me.
The frozen stuff, if I recall correctly, the frozen stuff was the first to go because it's got a long shelf life.
Yeah. So Red Baron pizza I started eating, and it's good. I had to force it down for like a week. Like I knew I liked the flavor, but again, the texture, I had to force it down for like a week, get used to it. And now I eat cheese pizza.
Have you
cultured as fuck, man?
Have you opened the window to vegan chicken nuggets yet? Like it's not chicken.
We're gonna do a vegan episode at some point. I have a friend that's a hardcore vegan, so she wants to make like a whole vegan meal for me.
Yeah.
Which we'll see how that goes. Like I said, weirdly enough, the stuff that's more foreign to people is easier for me because
Yeah.
there's no mental block of like, oh, if it's weird for me, people are going to make fun of me. No, it's weird for everybody.
Thanksgiving will be fun. And
Thanksgiving's
what was
gonna be
that like over the years?
I would eat chicken nuggets.
Chicken
Like,
nuggets
my
on
mom-
Thanksgiving?
My mom would make a full,
Wow.
like 5-course meal for the rest of the family. She'd spend days working on it.
Oh my God.
And then at the last minute, put in my chicken nuggets, bring them out, and I'd eat chicken nuggets while everyone else had this huge meal.
Wow. Did you feel like kind of left out, like kind of isolated?
Not left out or isolated. Just more, my family would just rip me apart incessantly for it. You
Yeah,
know what
I mean, why not? I mean,
they should. Yeah, like I was
as
a
they should,
crybaby
yeah.
about it. Like if you put peas just in front of me as a kid, I'd start like throwing a fit.
Oh,
so like
no.
at Thanksgiving, they just wave food in front of me and watch me cry.
So was it a good day if like, you know, did you go to public school?
Yeah.
So was it a good day when it was like chicken nugget day? You're like, oh, I can have this.
Oh, I didn't get the chicken nuggets. No. So when I was in kindergarten, my mom first would try sending me to school with pre-cooked chicken nuggets in tin foil. They'd be cold by the time I got to school, so like that didn't go well.
Oh man.
So then after that, like my lunch just became junk, where it was coffee cake, a cosmic brownie, and a little can of Pringles, and that was my lunch literally from kindergarten through high school.
Oh man.
Every single day.
The cosmic
Yep.
brownie. Oh,
Yeah.
that's one I don't miss at all.
No?
No, it's just like I was poor. I was very poor. And the cosmic brownie was like the cheapest like dessert
a
that you
staple.
could find, you know?
Yeah.
And now the 99-cent stores like they're gone now. So it's like, where am I going to get this delicious discounted treat?
Oh, they got them at Ralph's, buddy.
They got them at Ralph's?
They got cosmic brownies at Ralph's.
I don't
you worry.
Because of what the doctor told me. The doctor's like, don't eat chocolate, don't eat caffeine. So like those are aisles that I am like so like I'm avoiding, but with like heavy resistance. I'm like, don't walk down that
Right.
aisle. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
I live by a Taco Bell. I drive by that Taco Bell. I'm like, you don't need it. You don't need it.
I'm not ready for Taco
Don't
Bell.
take it. No, I don't think. No, I wouldn't. And I gather you haven't had Taco Bell ever.
I haven't
Keep
had
it that
anything
way.
they serve.
If you're gonna have Mexican food at all, have it be like from a family-owned taqueria. You know, like
yeah.
Taco Bell. That's garbage.
Oh, don't run.
Garbage.
When we do Mexican food, we've been told we're gonna do like a buddy of mine knows this food truck that he's obsessed
Food
with.
truck. Oh yeah.
So
That's
we're
the
gonna
move.
do that.
That's the move. Yeah.
But I still feel like we should do Taco Bell at some point, just to do
at some
you
point,
know?
like maybe put it under like the stoner food category. Yeah. Maybe.
Well, that's the plan too. Is we're hoping. I don't know if YouTube will allow this, but we're hoping to do an episode in the future or a mini series where I revisit foods that I didn't like, but while I have the munchies, like just get stoned beforehand and try them again.
That'd be good for like a
Yeah.
420 episode.
Yeah.
I think YouTube would allow it if you're not like on screen
Right, if we're not
consuming the
blatantly-
product. Yeah, just
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, before you roll, have a few tokes here and there,
Right.
eat whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another fucking off tangent question. Edibles, like, because you're a picky eater. Like, what if,
Yeah.
you know, edibles is a very like rare choice for you to go for in terms
edibles-
of consuming?
I mean,
Cannabis?
gummies get me through my day.
Gummies?
That's my go-to for anxiety.
Gummies?
is
Okay.
Yeah. But beyond that, my first experience with weed was an edible. Because I very much, when I was in high school, I was like, I'm never drinking, I'm never smoking, I'm not having sex till marriage. And then freshman year of college, a girl broke up with me on St. Patrick's Day, and that all went out the window.
Oh shit! Yeah,
But
you let the dare lion down, my friend.
yeah.
You let him down.
Yep. But my first experience with weed was someone baked it into cookies.
Oh,
and
nice.
I didn't know they were weed cookies.
You didn't know?
I had like 4 of them. And
You
the
didn't
rest
know
of the
by
day-
tasting it?
No, it's me. I don't eat it.
Right. Oh
Yeah.
God. Why
Just
does that
funky
keep...
cookies to
I
me.
gotta keep that in check, man.
Yeah. So the rest of the day I was just knocked out on my couch in the living room. My mom's like, Joe, you're so sleepy today.
You know what I'd love to make for you? Because I've
Yeah.
messed with like THC butter. I would love to make you a breaded chicken tender with THC butter. I would love to do that for you
sounds
one
delightful.
day. Yeah.
I'm down for that.
A chicken nugget that's like
Yeah.
you'll become a chicken nugget
I'm down
after
for
you
that.
eat
I'm
that.
okay with
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Hell yeah. I did this not like it's kind of like semi-traditional when I do Thanksgiving with my mom. One food item is infused with cannabis, and I don't tell her what it is.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
A couple years ago was the pie.
I could never do that with my mom.
Yeah.
No. When my mom found out I was smoking weed, she didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks. And then one day she goes, I know about your disgusting habit, Joe. I was like, what are you talking? She goes, you do weed. It's like, "Oh, I do weed."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I actually got mad at my mom. I didn't smoke weed for like a month and a half. I was like, there was just some drama, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop smoking smoking weed. Fuck
Right,
you,
right.
Mom. And it was like, how do you rebel against hippies? You know, I'm like, how do I show my rebellion and
You
distaste
know what? I'm
for...
going to disalign my chakras.
Yeah, I'm going to disalign my chakras.
Let you have it that way. Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. Is there when was, in terms of like an actual mental breakdown, is there one that you had that kind of made you like go to the fetal position in the shower and cry?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've had plenty of those.
Plenty. Is there anything that you'd like to share?
Yeah. How dark we getting on this show?
There is no limits unless you say the Patreon safe word.
I would say probably my worst was my freshman year of college, because with how I eat, my mental health was at the worst it's ever been. Because the college I went to my freshman year did not serve chicken tenders.
Oh shit.
So no exaggeration, my meal, 3 meals a day throughout that year of college was French fries. And
French
nothing
fries?
else. I was living off of French fries.
Oh damn.
Yeah, which... pathetic, first off.
Shit. But that's
because
all
they had
starch.
other foods. I was just so stubborn I wouldn't eat anything else. But like, yeah, malnourished as could be. Probably the skinniest
I'm like,
I've
there's
ever
no
been.
protein in French fries, is there? Like,
yeah, it was not good.
Fuck.
And so my mental health was probably the worst it's ever been. I was having anxiety attacks every day. I was missing class constantly. And then to make it even worse, I had a friend at the time who tried to kill himself with me in the room.
oh no.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah. And weirdly enough, that is what got me out of all of it. Like
Really?
That was like the good, like not the good moment for me, but that was the turning point for me of like, because I woke up, it was 3 a.m. He'd slit both his wrists. He was freaking out because I called an ambulance, I called security, all this stuff. He was like, don't let anybody know, don't let anybody know. I was up to like 5 a.m. cleaning his blood off the floors, and like, again, sorry, it got dark.
It's fine. No,
Yeah.
I'm in it.
And weirdly enough, it was this moment of like, this can't be my future.
Yeah, shit.
This can't be where I'm going.
It had to take like a really low point for you to
like,
come back out. Yeah.
Yeah. Seeing him go through that and realize he made a mistake made me realize, I was like, what the fuck am I bitching about?
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, from there, I ended up transferring schools. I got back on chicken nuggets, which, again, not great, but better than what I was
Naturally.
doing. But yeah, I would say that was probably the worst time I've ever had with my anxiety, because, again, it was just panic attacks every single day.
Have you thought about like supplements, like vitamin supplements, to kind of like get what you were missing?
Oh, I take them now, but mainly because I have to.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
I've started having health issues. So now I take daily vitamins. I take an iron supplement, you know.
That's good.
Stuff
That's
like
good.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, there was an episode where you're like, I like the apple. I like this lettuce. Like lettuce kind of barely has anything in it. It's like mostly water, but like it's a fucking vegetable. You know, you gotta eat your vegetables.
Yeah.
There's like that. You know, what's that show on TLC where they get people with things like that? Where like, oh, my weird addiction. Like, and some people, like, it's like, oh, I eat styrofoam and like shit that's like not food.
Yeah.
You know, like, how do these motherfuckers, like, if their food addiction is
Yeah.
a not food, a not edible thing, like, where are you getting your nutrition, buddy? Like, shit.
My cousins have tried to get me on so many shows like that over the years.
Well, because with this quirk, you could theoretically get on one of these things, you know?
Well, on top of that, the chicken that I eat, only eat one specific brand of chicken.
Yeah.
So, like, my family for years were like, you need to write to Purdue, tell them how you eat. They're going to make you their spokesperson. I was like, I don't think they want to use me as an example, guys.
Right.
Like,
Oh, shit.
I'm so malnourished, I started losing my hair at 14.
Do you think that was attributed to it? Like, do you think it's a genetic thing, or?
I think I would have gone bald regardless. I do think it's a genetic thing, but I think that I went bald faster because of how I ate. Because I was getting no iron in my diet. You know, like I was very malnourished. So yeah, like literally at 14 years old, my hairline started receding. I probably would say I had the hairline of Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z at the age of like 18. And by the time I hit 25, I had what I have today.
Oh,
just
dude,
gone.
I started losing it in my mid-20s, and I was kind of like looking at the widow's peak going down, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be Vegeta, and I'm like, no, I don't want to be Vegeta anymore. I want to be Goku, man.
Yeah.
Shit, where's my hair?
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, that's the problem. We all, when we were kids, we wished to be Vegeta, and God went, okay,
And God went, "You're
receding
Vegeta now,
hairline
yeah."
and anger management
Yeah,
problems.
you're angry, you're short,
Yep, that's right.
You fucking hate everyone, you goddamn like edgelord.
You'll always
God.
be second best.
Oh my, yeah, of course. Oh
Yep.
God, such a role
Got what
model
we
though.
asked for.
Yeah, such a fucking role model.
Yeah.
Do you have any besides chicken nuggets,
Yep.
do you have any vices to keep from having a mental breakdown? Does music help ease things or some sort of entertainment?
Yeah, I'm big on music therapy, as my dad calls it, where I'll just pace around my kitchen for hours, listening to music, just kind of working through my anxiety.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's really good. These days I find, and I don't know if you found the same as you get older, it becomes easier and easier to have alcohol as a crutch for when I'm anxious, which...
I've had that before, yeah.
So
I don't drink, but, I get it.
Yeah, so more and more I'm finding that, like, I'm being more careful about my drinking just because I'm like... It's not that I'm drinking too much, it's more I shouldn't be drinking to get rid of my anxiety. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, when I do drink, if I'm anxious, I go, I'm not going to drink. Like, this is a bad idea.
Yeah, that was a problem for me because I when I was drinking, I drank to, sort of forget about the pain that I was going through. A lot of family issues, a lot of addiction issues. It runs really wild in the family. And I would drink, but I couldn't have a few. I would have, like, a lot. I didn't want to feel
Well, that's
anymore.
the other thing.
Yeah.
Is with how I eat, and it might stem from chicken, but very much the way I am with the chicken is kind of how I am with everything in life. I have an obsessive personality.
Yeah.
Where, like, if I do something, I can't just do it a little bit. So, like, the chicken, like, I eat nothing but chicken. If I play a video game, I'm playing that son of a bitch for hours and hours.
Oh, yeah.
And go, like, obsessively doing everything I can. And then with drinking, like you said, like, I have to remind myself, like, I'm not trying to win at this. You know what I mean? Like, it's okay to have one or two and be like, I got a buzz, let's stop,
Yeah.
So.
Oh, no, I don't know what
Yeah.
that is. If I have one, like, I've tricked my brain into thinking if I have one drink, I will die. I know I won't, but, like,
I mean, it's
have
not
that in my
good,
head.
but, like, that's a good mindset to
Yeah,
protect
I'm just like,
yourself.
I'm going to die. I will fucking die
Yeah.
right now. Because one will turn into 6, and then I'll black out. I'll wake up in somewhere. I don't know how I got there,
Yeah. Well, can I ask, do you come from a family with alcoholism, or?
Yeah, my mom. Well, the thing is, like, my mom drank, but it wasn't like she never hit us or anything. It wasn't wasn't like ugly or whatever.
Okay.
She managed her drug stuff, but all my aunts and uncles drank. My mom drank. I don't know if my father drinks. Don't know him very well. But that was like another thing from it. I don't have a dad in my life. That I didn't have a man to kind of like teach me how to be a man, so there's like a lot of like pain behind that.
Yeah.
I was in the foster care system for a couple of years, so I've got like abandonment issues, trust issues.
Right.
So there's like a lot of stuff buried back there that I had to like spend years trying to fix, because of the drinking and just like, just a lot of self-loathing.
Yeah.
Well,
I ask because I know that, like, and you probably experienced this, when you come from a family with alcoholism, you're kind of just always wondering, like, is this the drink that takes you too far?
Yeah.
And it's very disproportionate most of the time. Like, like you're just sitting there like, is this the natty ice that's going to do it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
is today going to be the day?
Is this the Mike's Hard Lemonade that makes me too far?
Is this the tequila shot that puts me in jail? Like, fuck, dude.
No, but so like you do think about it constantly, and it's this weird double-edged sword of like, I'm thinking about it constantly, and then I'm like, is me thinking about it constantly also a problem?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I
so
leave
yeah,
parties
it's a balancing act.
once that starts happening in my head, because I do bar shows for drink tickets.
Right.
Often, I was about to say sometimes, often, and like I get the drink ticket, and I'm like, I'm gonna use this on a ginger ale. I'm not, and then people are having fun, people are drinking, and then like someone's drunk and they get a little too close to your face, and you can smell it on their breath, and I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like it's not their fault. I'm just like, you're making me want to drink, and I have to remove myself.
It's that
from
too,
this.
though. We're at that age now
Yeah.
too, where like I'm not trying to drink to get shit faced. You know what I mean?
I can't.
I'll have a drink to ease my social anxiety, but like if someone's like, "Let's go get wasted," I'm like, "No, I gotta be up in the morning, guy. I can't do that,
dude. I've got a job. Like
Yep.
I'm employed. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I got the last time I got like massively hungover where it was awful was the Four Loko drink. Just Red Bull and crack.
That's
and
something I will say.
alcohol in
Sorry.
a can. No, go ahead. Go
That's
ahead.
something I will say. I've never been hungover.
You've never been hungover,
No.
huh?
Yeah.
Is that a future Taste
don't
Like
know.
Chicken
Yeah.
episode?
Yeah, that's the chicken nuggets are just.
We're gonna get
absorbent.
hungover.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No, yeah, I've never been hungover, but yeah, like I was saying though, like back to what you were asking about having vices to handle anxiety. Music, like I said, alcohol is one that I find is easy to go to, but I try to avoid it just because that's such a slippery slope.
Well, you're smart. You've never been hungover. It's not fun. It's not fun.
All right. Well, I probably just jinxed myself by saying that.
Nah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Other than that, I used to run a lot, and that's what I need to get back into. I
Yeah,
used to,
same.
Like, there was a period in my life I was running like 10 miles a day.
Big
like,
same. Oh,
yeah,
God.
And it definitely, like, you feel the difference when you stop running. Like, your body starts to, like...
Oh, yeah.
That energy's got to go somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I ran track in high school. I really, and I haven't been honest about it, but, like, I do want to get back in, like, fighting shape, if you will. I do need to start running again, because I was in great shape when I was in high school, and I'm in my 30s now, and it's like, is it possible for me to get back to that kind of shape and be older and have like the wisdom that I've gained now and just like be like spry and like I want to fuck longer, you know, I want to be in good shape, and if shit hits the fan, if shit starts going south, I want to be able to have the cardio to get out of like the purge or whatever happens.
Absolutely. I try and be nice myself, though, about getting back in shape, because whenever I talk about it, like, I'll say to my wife, like, I want to get my abs back. She goes, I think you're remembering them better than they were, honey.
Oh, God. He's like, that's not a six-pack, that's a keg, bud.
She's like, they weren't bad, but they weren't as good as you're thinking they were.
You've been married to Alexa how long? Couple years?
3 years marriage, together 12 years.
Oh, so you've practically been fucking married. Like, were you living with each other before you got married?
Yeah. We actually, because... in college, she was the first person that I met, and we were just friends for a while. Then we started dating, and then at 23, we took a 4-day bus to move out to LA.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, worst experience of my life.
I feel like when you move in with someone, in terms of LA standards, like, that's when you're married. Because then, if you walk that back, then it's like, oh, I have to pay full rent now, as opposed to, like, splitting it, you know? This bus ride to LA, what was that like?
Oh my gosh. So we took a 4-day bus. We thought it would save us money and we'd get to see the sights. No, one.
You took a Greyhound?
Yeah. Oh. Number one, no one else booked flights that day, so the flight ended up being cheaper. And then two, the sites were 90% farmland, which farmland's beautiful, but after
nice.
4 days of it, you're so sick.
Yeah.
But everything that could go wrong did go wrong. Between New York and Chicago, the girl in front of us overdosed.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, she just jumped up and started shouting at my wife, "You have my bear, you took my fucking bear," and then just collapsed in the aisle, and they had to get an ambulance for her. Then between Chicago and Texas, the toilet on the bus broke down.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but they wouldn't switch our bus, so for 27 hours, we sat on a bus that just reeked of shit and vomit.
God.
Yeah, it was awful, outside of Phoenix, Arizona, our bus completely broke down. We had to wait in the desert in 110-degree heat for 3 hours to get a replacement bus. Yeah. The entire ride, the guy that was sitting in front of us, every time he fell asleep, his foot would go over his seat and just sit in my face like this the entire night.
Look, you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
I've taken a Greyhound. We've made many stops at gas stations where, like, this food is gonna make me quarantine.
Yeah.
Like, and it's all that's fucking there, dude. The preheated big as cheeseburgers, or whatever. It's like, oh, we're gonna pull over for 15 minutes.
It's Carl's Jr. for every meal.
Oh God, Carl's Jr. Dude, that double Western, man. Like that was just a huge vice that I had. I can't touch it anymore.
What's the double Western?
The double Western. It's a cheeseburger with barbecue sauce and onion rings.
I was getting their chicken tenders.
It's, I mean, dude, you could make it, like, they've got a chicken sandwich. Like, it has to.
I'm not ready for that.
You're not ready for the chicken sandwich
yet? Well, they put
yet?
lettuce and all this other stuff on it.
Well, you like lettuce.
I do now.
You do now.
Yeah, but back then I wasn't.
But what they do is that on the chicken sandwich, they're going to put tomato on it. You don't like tomato.
Yeah.
They're
and I hate when people.
On it.
I hate when people say this thing. Oh, just take that stuff off. No, you take it off, you still taste it. The juices
it's
get on
still
it.
There.
I'm still gonna taste it. I hate when people say just take it off. That drives me insane.
You know, I would figure you, even if you weren't a picky eater, I would figure you as the type of person, like, the food cannot touch.
Oh yeah, 100%.
The food cannot touch.
Well, also that's the other thing, and this is again where I might have a bit of the tism.
Yeah.
When I do eat, it's ridiculous. Like, it used to be when I was a kid, if I had chicken nuggets and I had ketchup on the side of the plate, I couldn't just dip the nugget in the ketchup. I had to dip it in such a way that the ketchup would stay a perfectly neat square.
Oh, shit.
Or else I wouldn't. If someone smeared it, I was like, I'm not eating that.
Dude, I'm like that with money in my wallet. Like, they're like the bills have to be in numerical order. Like, I would pay something for cash and I would get my change back. And I would just stuff the money in my pocket and then organize it later, because I'm like, this is being handed to me out of order. I don't like this, and I'm just like, ah.
Do you think that's? Did you ever work as a cashier?
I've been a cashier.
Yeah, because that's my thing is ever since being a cashier, all the bills have to face the same way. They're all organized. Yeah.
Like I think can't have it upside down. Like, oh, and then I get the $2 bill. I'm like, fuck, where does it go?
Yeah.
Oh, and I have to fold it and put it in a corner or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm pretty sure I've got like mild OCD too. Like things have to be like a certain way. Like I could tell you, like, because I work in the kitchen, and if somebody puts something where I don't put it, I'll fucking go like, guys, what the fuck? This goes there. And it was like, no, bro, it doesn't have to go. Like, I need the prep table on this side of the kitchen. Like, it has to be in a certain fucking way. Like, half the shit in the kitchen is on wheels. I'm like, I need the trash can over here on my right because I'm left-handed and I'm prepping the shit.
Yeah.
I'm prepping fruit and stuff, like, so the garbage goes to my right.
Right.
The right-handed people, the garbage can is on the left. I'm like, I hate this. I don't want this around. It drives me fucking mad.
I know I keep getting off topic, but that's actually a thing with my wife is that I'm a lefty.
You're a lefty too?
I give her, it's a horrible bit, and I'm going to get in trouble for it one day, but like I always joke to her that she's racist toward lefties.
Oh,
and she'll be like, no, that's not. And I'm like, that's not what? Were you going to say that's not right? That's not right?
That's not right?
How dare you? Like, yeah.
Are you an anti-leftist? Like, that's a weird way to
play like rock,
that.
Play like rock band. And I'm like, oh, I have to do a lefty flip for the guitar.
Yeah,
fuck you.
We're not special. We're not special. Yeah. Oh, so you probably hate like the spiral notebook.
Oh, I hate the spiral notebook.
You hated the desk in school.
Well, on top of that, when I was in elementary school, I went to Catholic school, and we had old school nuns that like they'd hit me with a ruler for being left-handed. Wow. Yeah. My mom was pissed when she found out. That did not go over well.
No, that's what happened to me. My mom threw me into Catholic school for a hot second, and they were doing that to me too. Yeah. But my mom, she's Catholic, but she's a hippie as well, so she's like somewhat progressive. It's like, what's so bad about the left hand? And at the time, Clinton was president. He's left-handed. Wayne Gretzky, one of the best hockey players ever, left-handed, and she was a big hockey nerd. So she's like, you know what? Some of the, our world leader is left-handed. Some of the greatest athletes in the world at this time are left-handed. Fuck that shit, I'm out.
Yeah.
You're not going to take the left-handedness out of the fucking kid. But I would freak out because I would get the right-handed scissors and use my left hand, and I would just go life hates me. The world is against me, man.
Yeah.
Not a lot of us left.
No, not a lot of us. But that's the only thing I do right-handed is scissors because they never had left-handed scissors.
They never had it, so that's the one thing you got used to?
Yeah. But everything else left-handed.
I was like that with sword fighting. We all had to learn how to fight with swords.
Really? Yeah.
Stage combat.
Yep.
So we learned rapier and dagger. Yep. We all had to do it with my right hand. So at first I was like, I don't know.
Right.
And then we had to alternate with having a dagger in our left hand, and I was already good with that shit. So once I got used to the right hand, I was a fucking expert, dude. I got on the final demonstrations and all that. I'm like, this guy's a fucking natural. I'm like, no, I'm left-handed.
Yeah.
They beat it into me the first 10 weeks in.
Yeah. That'll
fucking theater. You're a theater nerd, yeah?
Yeah.
You went to theater college, or?
Yeah. I majored in theater, sure.
You majored in theater? God,
I majored in liberal arts with a concentration in theater.
A concentration camp in theater. Oh,
yeah, nothing impressive about my degree.
You're an accident in a lab, buddy.
Yeah, I did a lot of Shakespeare stuff for years, and then I came to LA, and no one here gives a fuck that I did Shakespeare.
No one cares. If Shakespeare in the Park paid your bills, I would be on that shit so quick, dude.
Yeah.
I would love that.
Well, we can dream.
Have you had a job where you quit as fast as possible that gave you a mental breakdown?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What kind of job?
Didn't give me a mental breakdown, maybe. Yeah. So I've had a lot of jobs in LA that have caused me a lot of mental anguage.
Oh, for sure.
I had a job where I had a gun pulled on me.
Oh, fuck.
I had another job, customer service. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But I say that like anyone's getting their gun pulled out at Target. But no, I've worked a lot of jobs in LA. My first job was a regional manager for a Japanese dollar store.
Oh, shit.
And that job was just mentally taxing because I was in charge of all the Daisos. I just said the brand name. Yeah.
Daiso?
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Daiso.
Daiso's
yeah.
not ringing a bell.
Daiso, yeah, you should check them out. They're great. And they were really good to me. The issue was that because I was in charge of every store in LA, I had to go to every store in LA every single day.
Ouch.
And I didn't have a car at the time. I was a month into living in LA. So I was taking public transit for literally 200 miles a day.
Regional manager? They weren't paying you enough for you could get a fucking car?
Well, I didn't have a driver's license.
Right. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, horrible.
Dang.
I moved to LA without a driver's
Moved
license.
to LA
'cause
without
I'm
a driver's
fucking
license.
genius.
Oh god, what a disadvantage! Look, I grew up
Yeah.
here. I took buses like for most of my life.
Yeah.
I was late to the driving party myself, but just like, dude, you come here when you don't have a driver's
Yeah.
license. Oh, you are at every
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Yep. So I did that for like 2 months, and then that commute was too much for me. I was working like 14 hours a day because of that. Then I did an overnight job for a grocery store, which I don't know if you've ever worked overnight, but that in and of itself
I
is,
have. I
yeah.
did inventory overnight for a grocery chain.
Yeah. For how long?
Couple months.
Yeah. Do you feel like you got any of those months?
Well, here's the thing. What made me quit that job was that we had an inventory thing, and we weren't paid for the whole month of December. The payroll lady like fucked up, and like that's holiday
wild.
stuff. That's like, dude, we're buying
Yeah.
Christmas presents for our families.
That's
we're
wild.
not getting paid for the
Yeah.
month of December, and there was a lot of shifts that
Yeah.
month too. And there's like holiday stuff that had to get counted and sold, and
Right.
it was just like, wow, you're not gonna fucking pay us.
That's crazy.
The payroll lady, the excuse was like the payroll lady was sick. And I'm like, oh, dude, I am out. I am fucking out.
That's
you can't.
nuts.
And it's like people, there was one lady that was like under the threat of eviction because she couldn't get the fucking money on time.
That's nuts.
And it was like, if you want to quit, then quit. I'm like, well, yeah, you're not paying us.
You're lucky if I don't sue you.
You're not fucking paying us. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. No, my issue with working overnight was it felt like that entire year was just lost to me. Because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I'll work at night, and then as soon as I get home, I'll go to bed, and I'll be up at noon, and then from noon on, I'll do auditions. No.
Nah, dude.
I
Oh,
got
man.
home from that job, and I was knocked the fuck
Far
out
from
until
it.
like 6 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
And so like that entire year felt like a blur. I barely saw my wife. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't like do any auditions, nothing. Like I went to that job, I got home, and I knocked the fuck out.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
So that was just mentally taxing just in that year flew by.
Like it was 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Yeah.
for me. And I'm like,
Yep.
yeah, I'll be up by noon. No, dude, we're waking up at 4 o'clock to
Yeah.
like do it all again. I'm just
Yeah,
like,
it's-
I am a gargoyle now, dude.
Yeah, that was nuts. After that, what other jobs have I done out here? I've done a lot of jobs out here. Shit. You know about the hotel job? I used to.
You worked at a hotel?
Yeah, I used to work in hotels. I used to manage hotels.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And that job was incredibly rewarding in a lot of ways. I learned a lot about my own resilience mentally, like the things that I can withstand.
Yeah.
Because like when I first came out here, like I had a job at one point answering phone lines for customer service. And I had to quit that job because people were so mean on the phone. Like
Yeah.
I was just like, I can't handle this. They're yelling at me all day.
Right.
After working in hotels, I'd take that job in a minute. I'd be like, you can't faze me. You can't do it.
faze me.
Because hotels, you just meet the weirdest people, and you have to kick them out of the rooms.
Oh,
they,
yeah.
They threaten you with a gun, or they do other crazy shit.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, you're just like, you know what? Fuck you.
Right.
So hotels were a weird thing in
Like,
that
was this high-end hotels or like a regular?
It's a mixture.
Mixture?
I
Okay.
worked at a couple like mid-level ones, and then I worked at a more boutique hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And I met a lot of great people that I'm still close friends with working in hotels, and I learned a lot of things about my own mental fortitude that have helped me with my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I've got a lot of anxiety that are like those anxieties come from that job. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
Because
like, I can't watch The Bear because I worked in kitchens.
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
won't. I know it's a good show. It's fucking Emmy award-winning show. I won't watch it.
Yeah.
it just brings back fucking horrible memories.
Yeah,
I'm not watching it.
I give so much credit to people who make hotels their career because it was something that I was good at, but mentally I couldn't handle it long
Yeah.
term.
Oh, I
it
can't.
It was too much because again, like something goes wrong every day in a hotel, whether it be a pipes bursting, there's
Mm-hmm.
an angry guest, there's somebody doing drugs in their room, on a rare occasion, someone, offs themselves in
Someone
their
dies,
room.
yeah.
We had training that I had to go through with my employees that was literally, when you find a dead body, not if, when you find a dead body, here's what you
body.
do. Because statistically, if you're a hotel employee, you're going to find a dead body.
Yeah.
It's I learned a lot about myself from that job, but I also got a lot of anxiety from that job that I'm still working through. I mean, you've seen me at the club. Like, I'm
Yeah.
always like, hey, what can I do? I'm
Yeah.
like so hyperactive. And that comes from that job where I always
Yeah.
had to be on. I always had to be ready.
You don't want to
And
be
I
idle.
haven't calmed down from that quite yet.
Could you imagine working at the Cecil Hotel? Could you imagine?
I kind of want to work there.
You know about there was that lady that she jumped into the water vat.
Water tank,
and someone complained about like the sink being like with black water coming out. It was like the decomposing body, and just like, oh, could you? And it's right by Skid Row too.
Yeah.
So you just get like the cesspool.
When I worked for Daiso, I was right by Skid Row, and I didn't have any issues.
No issues with Daiso.
Well, it's funny. I had a coworker that time said, he was like, "You're the safest person here," and I was like, "Why?" He was like, "You're a white guy walking through Skid Row. No one's gonna give you trouble. They don't want that kind of attention." And I was like,
"Oh no,
I don't know how to feel about that."
I would figure the opposite, that you would be an easy target.
That's what I thought, but apparently not. He told me, he was like, "You don't have to worry." I was like, "Okay."
It might be the way you walk.
That is,
you got to walk like confidently with a purpose when you're walking.
I think I walk like an idiot. But
well, if you walk like with your head looking around, you're like, "Oh, I'm lost." Someone's gonna roll up on you like, "Hey, homie, where you from?"
Yeah.
And you're bald,
Yeah.
skinhead stuff,
But that's the thing in Los Angeles. I think so many jobs give people anxiety out here, not because of the hustle, not because the jobs are incredibly demanding. It's more just what the jobs ask of you out here.
Yeah.
Because you see a weirder brand of people out here than you see anywhere else. So the customer service is on a different level. You gotta deal with some crazy shit.
Well, it's also the jobs that they don't want.
Yeah.
It's just the jobs that you have to have.
But on top of that, like I love LA, but LA definitely feels sometimes like a place where any idiot can start a business.
Yep.
And because of that, there are business practices that people are doing that shock me to this day.
Oh, shady stuff.
I had one job, and I'm not going to name the business because I don't wish them ill will, and they might not even do this anymore. But when I was with them, the way they would do their bank deposits every week was they'd take $50,000 in cash, put it into a backpack, an unlocked just school backpack, put that on some 16-year-old kid who worked 10 hours a week and say, walk to the bank.
Yikes!
Through like the worst neighborhoods in LA. Just a backpack of $50,000.
No!
Yeah. And I'm just like, what are you doing? You're going to get this kid killed. Yeah. And like they would do it every week.
The risk is too high.
Yeah.
The risk is way too high. Oh my. Drive him.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Like I've had so many jobs out here that do things that I'm just like, how are you getting away with this?
Yeah, a lot of nepotism.
Yeah.
People will hire who they know because they want to help them out, not necessarily because that they're the best fit for the job.
Yeah. But on the reverse side of that though, there is some good to LA being like that. Like I have a theater degree. Mm-hmm. I'm not qualified to do shit. Yeah. But there are so many businesses in LA that they're like, I just care that you have a degree. Everyone here is coming from everywhere, and they've all got theater degrees. I just care that you got a degree. Let's try you at this job. We'll train you. I've had a lot of opportunities out here that I would not have had in other states.
Yeah. Because for a theater degree, I mean, if these people know anything about like the discipline that it takes for theater, is like you're very much disciplined to be on time, like all the time. And if you're like, theater does not fuck around, where as opposed to comedy, was like, oh, we could start the show 20 minutes late,
right?
Whatever. We'll just wait till more people show up. Not theater. Yeah. These motherfuckers, like we're time Nazis. Yeah. And then it's so ingrained in my soul. I'll get upset. Yeah. If people are like 15 minutes late to shit. And I got to think like, oh, people have their own lives. There's other drama going on. I'm like, not me.
Do you find that theater makes you a snob at times? Because I do.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I find, for instance, like doing auditions with film actors. And I got a lot of respect for film actors because a lot of them have skills that I'm still working on. Mm-hmm. But I do find something that I have to curb is if I'm in an audition with a film actor and we've got like 3 pages of dialogue and like a page in, they go, blah, blah, oh, sorry, I messed it up. Can we start over? And I'm like, you could have just kept going.
You could have just kept fucking going.
We had a solid audition here. You could have just ignored it and powered through, and now we both look like idiots. He's like, can we start over?
You could have used the mistake to your advantage. That's why the great Bob Ross calls it a happy accident, because sometimes things will go wrong in a scene, and it ends up making the final cut.
Right.
Yep. It's good stuff. It's wonderful stuff. All right, this is fucking wonderful. I'm loving this. Last question. This is kind of going to be a controversial one because the world's on fire. Is catching up with the news or politics or anything of that nature difficult to digest?
No. It's the opposite.
It's the opposite?
Yeah. I find that my anxiety is very much the type where if I'm told things are going horribly, I'm like, I fucking knew it, and I feel better.
You feel better?
Yeah. So, like, anytime people are like, oh, we're about to end up in World War III, I'm like, oh, great, good. I feel so much better now, Jesus Christ.
Burn it down. Burn it all down.
I don't have to plan tomorrow? Great. Fucking awesome. Like, my anxiety all comes from trying to plan ahead and trying to control my environment. So when I'm told that I have no control and everything's going to shit, weirdly, I get so calm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, I think that's probably why I gravitate toward jobs like hotels too, because like those high intense environments, like those high stress intense environments are the places where I weirdly feel the most normal because I'm just on. Like, I'm ready for it, and like all the anxiety I'm feeling is validated in the moment.
So your anxiety, you don't get anxious when you see like, corporations or the Fed raised the interest rates, or fucking Trump said something dumb.
No,
or whatever.
No, I get anxious working the little jobs where they're like, okay, people are going to come in and check in for the show. You just have to take their name, make sure they're on there, and then seat them. And then I have like 20 questions. Okay, well, what if the name's not spelled correctly? And what if they don't want to sit in the front? What do I like the little jobs that require no anxiety are the ones that give me anxiety.
Yeah.
It's the ones that have high anxiety that, because it's my element, I'm like, I'm good to go.
I'm like that a little. Because little things will bother me, but if I'm in like a high octane stressful situation, like this one time my uncle almost fucking like drove off the road and like crashed into a fence, and he was with me, and I was just calm as a cucumber. I was just like, yeah, this is happening. We're crashing. Oh, cool.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's fine. We were all fine.
Yeah.
He has Parkinson's, so his fucking hand like slipped on the wheel, and we just went right into a ditch and crashed through this guy's fence.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You all right?" I'm like, "I'm fine, dude. Like, I'm completely fine." He goes like, "You're so calm," and I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely like, there's a little bit of inner panic, but I can't like show you that I'm panicking.
Right.
But then that's how we get through it. But
again, it's a control thing.
Yeah, if somebody's order is wrong, oh, you bet I'm fucking losing my tits. You know?
I heard a thing once. Do you like horror?
I love horror.
Yeah. I heard a thing that people with high anxiety like us, we love horror because it's a controlled fear.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny. You just made me think of with that car accident story. And my dad does not want me telling this story, but I'm going to say it anyway. My grandmother had early onset Alzheimer's. And one time her caregiver was driving her to the hospital, and she had one of her moments where she forgot who her caregiver was.
Oh, no.
So she just suddenly goes, "You're not taking me!" And she punches her in the face. They crashed into a tree. And everyone was okay, thankfully.
She forgot during the car ride?
Yeah, during the car ride. She thought she was getting kidnapped.
Oh, no. My, that's hilarious.
Crazy.
I shouldn't have laughed at that. I have dark humor.
No, but that's the thing. Like, what else do you do? You kind of have to laugh.
You have to, man.
Yeah, yep.
You have to. There's like when you have like sort of bad things happen to you, do you, and you're not a comic, so, I would be like, oh, do you use this stuff on stage? Yeah. Does like kind of making fun of the bad shit help you cope with it a whole lot more?
I have the darkest sense of humor. I'm not good at serious situations.
Oh, me neither.
Like I say all the time, I can go to funerals for my family because my family, like it's a celebration of life. We make jokes about the person. We laugh. We have fun. Other people's funerals, I don't know what to say because it's so serious, and I want to make a joke because that's what my family would do.
Right, yeah.
So I get very uncomfortable at other people's funerals. But like, my sense of humor is incredibly dark. Like, I tell my wife all the time about my plans for my funeral, and she hates it. Like I'll tell her that I want to pay 2 actors, one that looks like a younger me and one that looks like the ghost of Christmas Future. Just have them in the corner of the hall just going, "This is what'll happen if you don't change." Like, just stupid stuff like that.
This is what'll happen if you keep eating chicken nuggets.
Yep.
Oh, good Lord.
Yep, yeah. I want to like, at some point, I don't know when I'm going to do. I might do it while I'm in your apartment. I want to steal a friend's like prized possession and just argue with them about it for years. Like, I don't fucking have it. Like, just keep arguing with them. And then at my funeral, they'll see I'm holding it in the coffin. You know what I mean? Like, I think that'd be hilarious.
That'd be fun. That'd be
and then
great.
like they have to make the decision: do I take it or does he win this one?
Do I take it from him? Does he really want to take that to the grave?
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
I'll cap with this. I went to because you said funerals. I went to a friend's funeral earlier this year, and I'm weird about funerals too. I'm like, I have to make a joke, and I don't know anybody at the funeral. I'm just there to support my friend, and I'm watching her bury her father. Yeah, and she's a comic that I know, and she has a joke about being a gravedigger, and watching her bury her father made me think of that joke, and I started fucking laughing, and I'm laughing, and then I'm holding myself back, going, oh shit, other people are looking at me laughing at this like horribly sad moment in her life, and I'm just
it's so,
like,
so
no,
weird when
don't do this.
Yeah. Yep. Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How do you feel? Do you think that your performing is a result of or a cure for your anxiety?
Oh, shit. It's kind of both.
Yeah.
It's kind of both because I still get so nervous before going up on stage. And it could be a room of 2 or 200. I'll still get really nervous. But then my stage health will take over, and I'll joke about the things that have given me trauma in the past. But when I talk about it in that form, it's fine.
Yeah.
So it's kind of both. Because my humor, my act and my jokes, that's how I became who I am.
Right.
But in the moment before, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
I'm in the main room at the Comedy Store. Everyone's looking at me. Ah, shit.
I'm the opposite.
You're the opposite.
Yeah. So like I am never more calm than when I'm in front of a crowd of people.
Huh.
Yeah, like I don't get stage fright. Like I think it's
well, you're the theater, You're trained in it.
I think because it's that mental thing of, well, I'm not me up there, I'm the character. If they say I look stupid, I'll be like, well, the character is stupid.
The character is stupid.
So like I'm not bad, but it definitely is. I started doing theater as a result of anxiety because like I had a conversation with my therapist recently where I was like, as an extrovert, and she goes, "You're not an extrovert." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I never shut up. I do theater." She was like, "No. People exhaust you. Extroverts get energy from being around people." She was like, you need to control the situation because you're anxious around people. So you act out, you perform.
Yeah.
And so she was like, I don't think you're an extrovert. She was like, I think you're an introvert that like the way you cope is that you act out, but I don't think you're an extrovert. And I still don't know if I agree with her on that, but it's an interesting thing to think about.
It depends who you talk to because, comics are like that too because comics can be very much the opposite of who they are on stage. Like one guy is like, very frat boy comic, very like bro. He's a fucking vegan. He's a fucking like really sensitive, very health conscious, but all of his jokes are like energy drinks, punching walls. He's very the opposite of that. And comics are very like a lot of them are quiet. A lot of them are very reserved and they keep to themselves, but then they come up on there and it's not them.
Yeah.
It's a version of them that they express, and I guess it gets our fucking rocks off, dude. I love it, and I'll do it until I fucking can't, man. This has been really insightful, and learning about just learning about what makes you tick with your thing with the food, man. Tell the people one more time about your stuff, and then we'll call it a mental breakdown.
Yes, yeah. So I am hosting a show on YouTube called The Taste Like Chicken Show. It has new episodes every Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, where I, the world's pickiest eater, will be trying new foods for the first time ever. So feel free to come watch me struggle through PB&J.
It's a good show. It is such a good show. It's like Andrew Zimmern, but with like common shit.
I don't know who that is.
Dude, he's the guy that tries exotic food from all around the world.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, he's like, I've never had this before. This looks like a motorcycle accident. Let's try it.
A friend of mine called me reverse hot ones because he said he was like, none of the food is challenging and nothing you're saying is interesting.
Reverse hot ones. That's good. All right, that's been wonderful, man.
Thanks,
all right, follow us on Patreon if you want the exclusive uncut versions of these episodes. This has been the Mental Breakdown Podcast. Okay, thanks. Die, everyone. Sick.